Hi guys, well I wasn't going to touch this subject with a 10-foot pole because I thought it was going to create massive controversy, but I really need to sort of put some perspective on this situation. Now, if you haven't heard about this, basically I'm going to be talking about this whole Australian racist KFC ad that's been doing the rounds recently, which a lot of people seem to have got sort of wildly misinterpreted this ad and have just gone absolutely from one level of ridiculous to the next. And as I said, I wasn't going to go and touch this subject because I thought it was going to cause massive problems. But the latest developments in the story have just been so ludicrous, I needed to say something. Now, just to give you some background, in Australia, they've been releasing some ads for KFC regarding cricket, which is a local sport which is played here in the West Indies and in the UK and several other countries. It's not very popular in America, not very well known, but basically the ad in question features a white man in the crowd at a cricket match surrounded by black people, and he makes some comment about being in an awkward situation and hands a bucket of fried chicken around to everybody at the crowd. Now, apparently this video got uploaded to YouTube, which is actually illegal because it's a copyrighted ad, but somebody uploaded it to YouTube and a bunch of Americans have been watching this and complaining that it's a racist ad because he's saying something about being surrounded by black people as being awkward, about the whole fried chicken thing, which I'll get to in a minute. But I'd like to sort of say instantly that this isn't actually a racist ad. Unfortunately, what's happened is this is an example of cultural misinterpretation. The ad in question is not actually the man saying that he's uncomfortable about being, or awkward about being surrounded by black people. He's actually saying that because he's wearing a Australian cricket supporters shirt and everyone around him is clearly supporting the West Indies because he's in a cricket match watching the cricket match. And he's uncomfortable because he's the only person there supporting his team and everyone else is supporting the other team. Imagine if you were at a football match supporting your team and you were surrounded by the opposition. I would imagine that would be an awkward situation. And he suggested the best way to get rid of this awkward situation was to hand out this chicken around and sort of make everybody friendly, whatever. Now, apparently there's some kind of a racist stereotype about African Americans and fried chicken. Unfortunately, I never grew up in the American culture. I lived in Australia virtually my entire life, so I'm not actually sure what that particular stereotype is about. But anyway, I just wanted to say that sort of like that particular stereotype doesn't exist here, and besides which, anyone who was watching this ad in Australia would know instantly what this whole ad was about, and it certainly wouldn't have crossed anyone's mind that it was racist. Now, the latest development is because of this uproar in the US, which, might I add, this ad has never actually been broadcast in the US and was never intended to be broadcast in the US. The only way people in the US have seen it is via YouTube or other websites. But because of all this uproar, KFC Australia has now had to withdraw the ad, which I personally think is a bit ridiculous. I'm actually quite surprised that KFC would actually go ahead and withdraw this ad, despite the fact it's not actually being broadcast in the region of the world that is complaining about this ad. And even after about 2 days ago, they actually released a public statement clarifying the contents of the ad and explaining that it isn't racist and this is why it's not racist and blah, blah, blah. But this didn't help to calm things down because apparently once people get a bee in their bonnet, they go absolutely mental over it. So they've had to pull the ad, which I think is really disgraceful because in the end, I think they've really gone all sort of like, I know it's irony to say it, but I think they're being a bit chicken because realistically they had no real reason to pull the ad. It wasn't being considered offensive in the region that it was being broadcast in, and it was quite obviously not racially motivated. It wasn't racist in any way. It's just the people who have misinterpreted the content have turned around and said that it is. And I think that's a bit silly. I mean, it's a classic example of what's happening in the world today where this whole political correctness thing has gone completely out of control, and anything that gets even slightly up anyone's nose, people start wildly complaining about it until they get their way. And I think that's a really disgusting way to act in 21st century. I mean, it's just crazy. But anyway, I'm just going to leave it at that. I just wanted to sort of clarify my opinions on this situation and to hopefully try and calm people down, because people are going absolutely crazy about this whole it's racist thing when really it isn't. It's just people have misinterpreted the content. So feel free to leave your comments below, what you think about the particular ad, what you think about KFC cancelling the run of the ad. I mean, do you agree with them? Do you think it was best for them to cancel the ad, or do you believe that they've sort of just bowed to pressure from overseas? Feel free to leave a comment or a video response, and I'll talk to you later.